Now, one of the things that's leading us into this new world is, of course, politics, finance, and technology, the financial piece. We know that we're at the end of a 100-year sovereign debt crisis. All the governments around the world are going bankrupt. If you've noticed what's happened with this whole FTX situation where they basically collapsed almost overnight and took everybody's money with them, you can understand that that's a perfect microcosm for what's happening in the greater financial system. And just like it was the small cryptocurrency companies that went down first, and now it's taking out bigger and bigger ones, it's exactly what's happened in the greater financial system. And so we've already seen the small countries, the Venezuelas, the Zimbabwe's go down. Then we've seen the Perus, the Ecuadors go down. We've seen the Lebanons. Now Turkey's going down. Now we're about to witness Japan, which might be the next one, Japan, and then the UK, and then the euro going down. And eventually it comes to roost in the United States and the dollar as well. The Fed, trying to control the monetary policy, the inflation, and everything around the financial system in the United States, is up against a serious, serious problem. And there was a story that came out this week that basically said the quiet part out loud. The part that they haven't really said, but I've been trying to make sure that you hear. But they actually came out and said it right now. And so we know that the Federal Reserve is trying to fight inflation. And so their goal is to restrict the monetary supply, to bring prices down. What they consider inflation or prices going higher, they want to bring prices down. Now, of course, I've talked about this. It's very simple. Supply and demand. If you want to bring prices down, you either, one, bring more supply to the market, or two, you reduce the demand. The central banks, the Federal Reserve, cannot bring more supply to the market. They can't bring more oil or gas to the market. They can't bring more food to the market. So the only thing they can do is crush demand. How do they crush demand? By making you poor. Better said, by making you broke. If they can make you broke, then you don't want to drive your car, you don't want to go out to dinner, you don't want to go on a vacation. Sounds bad, doesn't it? The job of the Federal Reserve, their goal right now, their stated goal, I'll say, their stated goal isn't to try to bring prices down so your life is easier. Their goal is to make your life harder by making you broke, so that then prices come down and they can say they won. So in order for them to win, they must make you broke. How's that sound? Not so good, right? So their goal is for your retirement account to cut in half, for your home value to get cut in half, and for a lot of you to lose your jobs, and for your jobs or the new job that you might find to pay you less money. The fact that more people are working, and more importantly, the fact that you're getting paid more for your job is in direct contrast to what they want. Now, I know that sounds really bad. That sounds maybe controversial, maybe conspiratorial. You're like, Mark, there's no way. The Fed doesn't really want that. The Fed's trying to do the best they can for the economy. Well, they said the quiet part out loud. As a matter of fact, this story came out this week. It says right here, quote, wage growth has been a contributing factor to inflation, especially in the service sector. So it's important to get the labor market into better balance to bring future wage growth down to a more sustainable level that will assist in moving overall inflation lower, end quote. Let me break that down for you. Wage growth, so the fact that you're getting paid more money, has been a contributing factor to inflation. So first of all, wage growth has been flat. As a matter of fact, when you adjust it for inflation, so when Biden was elected president, I believe gas was in like the $2.30 range. Today it's like $3.50 or $4. So gas has gone up by 50, 60%. Have your wages gone up by 50 or 60%? You were making $100,000 before, now you're making $150,000? No. In that same 2-year time span, home prices are up about 35 or 40%. Has your pay gone up by 35 or 40%? No. Steak has gone up. Airline travel has gone up. Have your wages gone up to keep up with the rise in prices of everything else? Of course, the answer is no. So that means that the quality of your life is going down. That means that you work just the same amount and you're not able to afford the things that you used to afford. So your wages are not growing enough to keep up with that. But here it says, I'm going to read it again, wage growth has been a contributing factor to inflation. So they're saying that the reason why prices are going up so much is because you're getting paid more, but you're not getting paid enough. It says here, it's important to bring the labor market and wage growth down. So they want your pay raises to go down to assist with inflation. And this is by a member of the Federal Reserve's 6-member board, Christopher Wallace. That's what he said. Wage growth, it's a contributing factor, and that's a problem. He said, at any other time, I would be pretty unhappy about slowing growth, but not now, he said. So not now. Now we need you to make less money. Now we need you to get paid less. Now we need more people to be unemployed. Too many people are working. That's the problem. And see, when too many people are working, that means employers now have to compete for you. Right? There's not enough people to go around, so now there's a bidding war for employees, which is good, but not for them, not for the Fed. That goes against everything that they want. It's a scary, scary world that we're in. You would think that their goal would be human flourishment. You would think their goal would be that you would have a better life, but that's certainly not the case. The Federal Reserve, like I said, they can't just create more supply. All they can do is crush demand. Now, they could, they could incentivize people to make more, right? They could take some of that money, those trillions of dollars they've printed and sent over to Ukraine, for example. They could use that to bring more gas to the, people in the United States, to bring gas prices down. That would help. But instead, no. Instead, they continue to shut oil and gas leases down, so we have less oil and gas than we had before. They could try to influence the government to relax regulations so that it's cheaper to run your business, but no. That wouldn't be the right way to do it. Instead, we want to crush demand. We want to make everybody broke. It's what they call the wealth effect. The wealth effect is that when you see your retirement account going up, when you see your house going up, you feel more wealthy. You feel more optimistic about the future. Dare I say happier, right? When you're optimistic, you feel good about the future. You feel happier. You're generally in a better mood. And so then you're more productive. You're spending more money, which is good for businesses because now businesses have more customers. And when those businesses have more customers, they sell more goods, means they can buy more from the suppliers. Those suppliers do better, and everybody does good in that system. But when they crush demand, it's what's called the reverse wealth effect. When you see a retirement cut in half and your home price cut in half, you feel poor. And then you feel pessimistic about the future. You feel scared. You feel uneasy. You feel anxious about the future. And so then you want to hoard. I don't want to spend. So now you don't go out. But think about the state of the nation or the world at that point. You went from a state where everybody was optimistic and happy and peaceful and loving to a state where people are angry and bitter and scared and anxious about the future. Now, which world would you rather live in? I mean, I don't know about you. I would rather live in a world where people are optimistic and happy and hopeful. That's the world I want to live in, but not the Fed. The Fed wants you to be angry and scared of the future. And now you know.